Forget living in New Braunfels, folks. I'll tell you why right after this. Thanks for joining me, everyone. This is the Live in New Braunfels channel, and if you haven't seen my video on the top reasons to live here, I strongly encourage you to check that out. That was the pros, and I guess this video is going to be the cons. I'm going to go ahead and posit that the list of pros far exceeds the list of cons, but who knows, we might touch on something here in this video that's going to help you avoid ruining your life forever. So, you're welcome. But first you have to ask yourself, is this the kind of content you're interested in? If so, subscribe to the channel. I'm posting new videos each week about New Braunfels and the surrounding areas, and while you're at it, give me a like and punch that notification button so that you'll know when new videos become available. Now, one of the reasons you may not care for New Braunfels is that it's just not very walkable. You pretty much have to drive somewhere to walk. Improved pedestrian and bike infrastructure would always be a plus, but how often would it be used in 95-degree weather? I'll talk about the heat in a few moments, but trying to get a little outdoor exercise in the middle of summer is tricky. And probably a little sticky. There's a few of these walking paths around. This is a particularly nice one. So I can't say that there isn't a place to walk or take your dog, but hold on. Hey, Jesse. Jesse, come on back here. She's going to get me in trouble. Of course, a lot of subdivisions have sidewalks for your evening stroll. We don't have an indoor mall in New Braunfels. Actually, I don't know how many of those exist anywhere, honestly, but when my dad was still with us, I would drive him over here in the mornings to the outlet mall. It's perfect. It's covered. It's safe. It's not air conditioned, but it's very nice in the morning time and not a lot of activity. The stores will open up in about 30 minutes, but Starbucks is open. We could go get us a cup of coffee or a cookie. I guess I'm comparing it to something like Asheville, North Carolina. Population 91,000. They have downtown walking tours. Or a bigger city like Philadelphia or Westwood in Los Angeles County. I actually haven't been there in many years, but I remember thinking what marvelous walking traffic they had. Now there's a couple of really nice blocks here in downtown New Braunfels, but you're going to have to drive down here, aren't you? Kind of related to this are the commute times and the fact that there's no public transportation. There's always talk about buses and rail lines to distant locales. They're not here yet. A lot of people commute to San Antonio and Austin. I'm not sure how many of them mind it, but I can tell you that they do it every day and that the I-35 corridor, that's the freeway between Austin and San Antonio with New Braunfels in the middle, is not a picnic as you get closer to those cities. Regarding local public transit, the city of New Braunfels is currently developing a public transportation study, but again, it's not here yet. Number 3, the weather. The good news is that the sun shines 226 days of the year. As far as heat goes, though, it's Texas. Most of you know Texas is H.O.T hot. It's closer to the equator than most U.S. states. Summer-like conditions last longer than a calendar summer. Your house and your car are going to need air conditioning. It's a little drier than, say, Houston or Beaumont, so you may not have the same pest problems. Roaches and mosquitoes come to mind. We've got them, but not as bad. But heat, my goodness. If you're not sure, you may want to come down in July or August and see for yourself what it's like and determine if you could stand it. Now the good news is that in New Braunfels, there's plenty of opportunities to cool off. And the winters are mild. In fact, quite pleasant most days at 70 or sometimes 80 degrees. Regarding rain and storms, the story's a little mixed. The tornado risk is 65% higher than the national average. The city has experienced flooding in the past, but the dry Comal Creek flood retarding structure, that's a dam, was completed in 2013 and is designed to protect the city from future floods. I think there was over $1 billion worth of floods in the 1990s. There are some areas that still flood a bit. The rivers do get a little high. There have been some catastrophic river floods in the last few years in neighboring Wimberley and San Marcos. On average, the area receives 32 inches of rain per year, on par with most of the U.S. Practically no snow. But you know that big snowstorm that made news and hit Texas was just a few weeks ago, and today Jesse and I are having the most glorious day of the year so far. Related to weather is the long allergy season. Right now we're experiencing very high cedar pollen counts, which is typical, and it'll peak this month in March and then come the junipers and the oaks in April. Plants in Texas endure only occasional periods of freeze, if any. This allows plants to pollinate all times of the year, even winter. So, if you've got allergies, this might be another reason to test the waters and come down for a short trip to see how you react. Regarding air quality in general, the only other issue might be quarry dust. Limestone mining is a big industry here, and there's been some back and forth between residents and mining operators. I don't live anywhere near that, and most people don't, but I know it's become a fact of life in some areas. The number one issue, the crowds and the traffic. It's particularly bad during tourist season and the weekends when the vacationers want to come down and enjoy the rivers and the music. Yes, tourists can be a pain, but they're the lifeblood of the town. They spend money, they pay sales taxes, they make the world turn here. Now, what attracts them to this place? Totally awesome resort town stuff that locals get to enjoy during the week when the crowds thin out. Well, Tony, there's more and more locals. Yes, growing pains, the blossoming population has city leaders seeking ways to manage the rapid growth. Jesse, come on. Thus, you're going to get bottleneck areas like here at Creekside. This is the big box shopping area. It's kind of a necessary evil. People know what I'm talking about that live around here. Suzanne comes here a lot for Hobby Lobby. And we have a few favorite restaurants here. When I was getting my haircut the other day, I asked my stylist. She's not located here at Creekside, thank goodness. But she's from Boston and she's been here a couple of years. I asked her what she didn't like about living here. And now mind you, she loves it. But she said the town needs a Whole Foods or a Trader Joe's or something like that. I had to agree. We've got 3 awesome H-E-Bs. That's a Texas outfit, a big Texas outfit, and we've got an Arlen's. That's a smaller Texas outfit. But we don't have anything. We don't have anything else. No Kroger. No, certainly nothing organic. But the good news is we're going to get a Sprouts. But the bad news is it's going to be located here at Creekside. So you're going to have to burn some gas coming over here. Heidi. If you've enjoyed this video, and even after all we've covered today, you still want more information about living in New Braunfels, click the link here and learn 10 reasons why doing so is actually a great idea. I specialize in helping people relocate to the area, and that starts with making sure you're well informed. See you next week.